Hey, if you are going through lease purchase, if you are an agent working with the lease purchase program, watch this video. It's concerning homeowners associations, and make sure the HOA is in line with what's going on before you get all into this deal thinking you're about to go to closing. And if they're not going to comply, it is going to mess you up, and you are going to waste time, waste the tenant's time, waste everybody's time, the closing, everybody's time. Everybody's time is going to be wasted. So I'm making this video so that you don't waste your time and you're aware of what's going on. So stay tuned. That's what we're going to be talking about next. Hey, it's Natasha with SoldByNat.com, associate broker, home selling, and new construction specialist in Georgia, specifically Gwinnett County, Georgia. But, just depending on where you're looking, I may be able to assist you, or I may refer you to someone else. We have a ride-along video. I am headed to a new construction orientation for a client. I'm really excited because I've been working with these clients for over a year. The first contract that they put in with the builder, it was a lot going on there, but the builder never did anything. Increased prices, they still never did anything. Thankfully, he was able to terminate the contract and get his money back. I've talked about it in another video, and I'll put the video here, but got out of that contract, got into contract with another builder, and finally they have a home that's gonna be done. So today is their first walk, the first time I'm gonna be meeting them in person. They flew into town where I'm headed to the orientation. So I got a little drive, and that's why you're getting the drive-in video. But I have this other situation going on with lease purchase. So annoying, and I have to share it with you. So with the client that I'm working with, let me just share this one thing. It's a question. If you have this question, will home partners buy a home that I'm already renting? Yes, they will. Home Partners of America will buy a home that you are currently renting. So that's a plus there. The other lease purchase companies, I'm not sure of. So check their websites, contact them to find out if they will. But I know for sure at this present moment, Home Partners will. They have some stipulations on what they will and will not do. It's a little bit different from just going the traditional lease purchase with them, but it can work. So I have one of those situations, a long-term client. She's like a mother to me, and didn't start that way. She got a flyer, a postcard years ago, and she contacted me, and I rented out her property. Her property has been rented out since 2016. At the time of this recording is 2022. So she's finally at a point where she wants to sell. She always knew that was going to be the outcome, right? The same tenant has been in place. The tenant has always known that she was going to sell. She gave the tenant notice that she was going to sell. Tenant was supposed to be getting things in order to be able to buy traditionally. Whatever came up, the tenant could not qualify to buy. So let me give this word to folks out there. People, please stop, because this is not the only situation. I hear about this a lot. Please stop getting comfortable in these rental properties. You're getting comfortable in these rental properties, paying these rents. Sometimes these rents are high rents. Like you could pay a couple mortgages, right? But you're getting comfortable in these rental situations and not working on your credit, not fixing your credit, not saving your money, not getting your stuff in order. And then when the landlord tells you, I'm ready to sell, you want to buy, or I'm ready to sell, you need to move out. Now you're scrambling, and you looking like a deer in headlights because you don't know what to do. Now you have an emergency. Now it's everybody else's emergency. When all these years that you were in there renting, that was the time to be working on getting yourself in order, so that you would be in a position to buy, or whatever your next move was going to be. That was supposed to be the time that you were supposed to be doing that. And yes, life happens. I get it. Things come up. And that may be the case for some, but that's not the case for everybody. may be rubbing some people the wrong way. But apparently, I was tapped with that assignment. And I am okay. I am okay with being that person. So if you are in a rental, please work on your stuff. Don't get comfortable. You could be the best tenant in the world. If you have not seen this video where I talk about the landlord is not your friend, they love you and appreciate you because you pay their rent on time and you take care of their house. But trust and believe when the time is right, that is their investment. And when they need to make a move on their investment, they're going to make that move. Their priority is not you. It's not you. So you got to be concerned with your priorities. Off my soapbox now. So back to this situation. So tenant looks into buying, can't do that way right now, and it's crazy because this tenant is like overqualified, right, to buy this house. But on paper, gotta get things in order because self-employed folks. However, I do have a lender that has a program, does not require all the traditional stuff. So if that's something that you're interested in, leave me a comment, email me, schedule my Calendly. But found an alternative and going through Home Partners. Great. Everything was lining up well to be a win for all parties. The seller was going to be able to sell. The tenant was going to be able to stay. And she had a personal situation going on where everybody was rooting for her to be able to stay because it just wasn't her that was being affected. And she's been a great tenant. I mean, she takes care of the house. I mean, it hasn't been her and the landlord aren't skipping through fields holding hands, but it has worked out in the situation for both of them all these years, right? But here comes the HOA. Here comes the HOA not wanting to fill out the paperwork that is needed for the sale to go through. And why I am so overly annoyed with this, because this has always been a Home Partners requirement, right? I think before they used to be a little more lenient, because I had someone purchase in Grayson in this video right here. The HOA they kept pushing it back like, we're not filling this out. We're not filling this out. The homeowner can fill it out, but we're not filling this out. And they put it in writing that the homeowner can fill it out. And HOA accepted it. I mean, Home Partners accepted it. I talked to my colleague, Candice, shout out to Candice, who she's working with me on this same thing. So we're going through this together. She has been going through this a couple times where HOAs are coming in and killing things. So she has one where nobody on the HOA board wants to be responsible for filling out this document, and really it's just a questionnaire. It's just some check boxes. That's all it is. What you sign up on the HOA board if you're not going to do simple tasks? So I think Home Partners used to be lenient with it, but it looks like they're really cracking down and they want this thing filled out. Fine. Should be no issue. But what is the issue now is some HOAs are cracking down on their leasing policies or requirements or things like that. What is perturbing me so bad is that I am extremely familiar with this community. The community is Park Place in Loganville. I owned a home there for 11 years, 10 of which I lived there. I've sold my personal home. I've helped people sell their homes in the community. I am extremely familiar with this community. I know that there are rentals in this community. There's a system I use, Realist, look up in there. It says 18.87% of the community is rentals. I was living there when they built like another phase, all new homes. And we were all surprised to see, oh, an investor bought them and turned them right into rentals. The HOA allowed this. I went into the tax records and pulled receipts, pulled all the corporate owners that are still in that community. So they still have corporate owners, 2 of which closed less than a year, a couple months ago. So they probably didn't go through a company like Home Partners that are requiring this document. And if Home Partners didn't require this document, we'd be fine. Just move forward. You got proof that other people are renting in here. They have other corporate owners. Let's move through. But Home Partners is not budging. The HOA, I have been waging this fight. So she relies heavily on me for things. And I am waging this against the HOA, which I'm happy to do because I know so much. I'm happy to pull all these receipts. But now they have a new property management company, and they're like, well, we keep putting it on the HOA and them to make an answer. What is the HOA doing now? Not responding. HOA is not responding. So what's about to happen? Home Partners is about to terminate, and everything else is in order for us to move forward towards closing. I share this story with you to know when you're dealing with these lease purchase companies, people think, oh, I found a home I want to move in. It is so much more to it. It's not like buying a home that you want to live in with a traditional mortgage. You're just saying, oh, okay, I like this home. Looks good. Let me put in an offer. No. These lease purchase companies, and I've spoken about this before in other videos, check them out. These lease purchase companies have their requirements. One of the huge ones is the community has to allow rentals. I'm submitting an offer for another buyer. Submitted it last night. That buyer's also relocating from New York. So if you're relocating, contact me. I've been told I'm pretty helpful when it comes to relocation. But when I was speaking to the agent, I called the agent to get some info on the home, and he was like, yeah, we have an offer for X price and we want to sign off on it, but it doesn't make any sense because we already know the HOA doesn't allow rentals. So they can't even accept this offer because they already know, but at least they know that up front. Here we have a case where it's almost like the HOA is picking and choosing. It almost seems a little bit discriminatory. Like, how are you going to allow certain people to rent and other people not to rent? And then y'all are bringing up this document. Oh, it's been in place since 2004. You're a lie. Lies detected. It might have been in place on paper since 2004, but y'all have not been enforcing it. And how you just going to decide that some people can rent and other people can't rent? But listen, I wish we had the time, and I wish my seller was able to wage this fight against HOA. If I was still in the community, I'd do it. Oh, I would do it. But we just don't have the time because Home Park is about to cancel. But they get the right Park Place of Loganville. If you HOA, get it together. Like, get it together, because y'all gonna get the right homeowner and they are gonna get with you correctly. But yeah, I just want to share that with you guys. Like, before you get out there, let the first thing be, I don't care what it says in the FMLS notes that the HOA allows rentals. Let that HOA questionnaire be the first thing you go to get filled out, because if the HOA is going to halt the deal, it does not make sense going through everything else. You doing inspections, you filling out closing attorney paperwork, you getting payoff statements, everything else is moving forward ultimately for the deal to get terminated. Big waste of time, and we're back to the drawing board, and it just really is messing everybody up. I really do feel for the tenant because she has a personal situation going on, and this really could have been a win-win for everybody. FYI, be aware, I'm sharing that this is a thing. Make sure you are confirming and with the HOA that the HOA allows rentals. Some of them have like a restriction where only certain amount of rentals are allowed, and confirm with the lease purchase program that you're working with if they'll even accept that. If do they want just a free and clear HOA, or will they accept a certain, percentage or whatever? So we have two parties that could bend or, make an allowance. Update, finished my meeting. It went so well. We met in person for the first time, but we've been working together so long. It wasn't like the first time. And they are in love with their home. Sigh of relief when somebody does not see their home in person ever. This is the first time. There's a lot riding on that, but thankfully my success rate, I've only had one person come in town, and this was before they even wrote a contract. They just happened to be moving here and weren't like fully under contract, but I still count them like they came in town. They were like, no, we don't think we're gonna like the area, or we don't like the area outside the houses, outside the community. One time, but actual clients that I have had fully through the process under contract, really went through, like, that is, yes, all of them have loved the homes that they have and the areas that they have moved to. That's something that we really work with them on, nailing down where they want to be and what they're looking for when they can't be here in person, on their eyes on the ground. So that went very, very well. But back to why I'm here. Update. So while I was there, the HOA comes back and says, all right, we're going to approve the seller's hardship. We'll allow them to rent for 1 year. And then after that, have the new homeowners fill out a request or something like that. So that sounded like, okay, it looked like it could work. But two, y'all still didn't fill out the document that Home Partners needed. Sent that to the other agent. Like, please see if Home Partners will let this go through. They came back with a hard no, because matter of fact, they got the CCRs and they read what they actually say. So what the covenants say and what the community is actually doing, two totally different things, right? But we read what it says, and basically we want no parts of a house in this community. Lesson learned, and I'm sharing it with you, so now that you know. So the biggest tip here is when you are looking to go forward with a lease purchase, regardless of the program, the HOA needs to approve rentals. Go ahead and request their CCRs, their covenants, something, and restrictions. It's not coming to me right now, but get their bylaws, get all that information, look through that, because it does not matter what they're doing. If they're renting, what do the bylaws say? That's what the community is going to want to see. I had another situation like this, which I did this video about it, where an investor terminated a deal because even though the HOA wasn't in effect at all, there were HOA bylaws written when the community was constructed. And that investor was like, we don't want any parts of this. So that came up at the 9th hour as well. So y'all check these HOA bylaws, their covenants and restrictions, because get involved on your HOA and your board. When they send out something to vote, participate. And if you may be thinking, well, yeah, I'm a homeowner, I don't want renters in here or such and such, and you just may make a flip decision. But what happens if one day you need to rent out your house? You never know what could happen. Think about it from both sides. And if the covenants are written in such a way that doesn't make sense, get them rewritten. So anyway, that's my update. Continuing on with my day. Again, gonna sign out here. Thank you guys for watching. Have a positive, peaceful, and productive day.